Hey guys, my name is Cassie. I'm an OT student at UT Tyler, and I am going to show you guys one of my favorite activities. It's a craft that I feel can be helpful in several ways, physically and mentally. So I want to start out by saying that crafts are really important to the field of occupational therapy, and I think it's important to bring it back and to reintroduce it, because oftentimes, not that it's a bad thing, but oftentimes today, in today's world, we're all about mindful breathing, yoga, meditation, and exercise. And though those are all very important, and I practice them and I support them 100%, I think it's also important to remember this aspect of things. So a lot of times I feel that people have a negative outlook towards physical exercise, exertion, yoga, things like that, because maybe they've tried it in the past and it doesn't work for them. Or I know that a lot of times in occupational therapy, we're dealing with people who are very physically ill, and so they're not able to physically exert themselves, and if they do, it's so difficult on them that it often is a negative thought, particularly in the setting I'm in, which is used to be mainly geriatrics, but since COVID, it has changed to young adults. So we have patients who are just fresh out of surgery or general debility, which is typically post-COVID. And a lot of times when you bring up anything physical, their mindset automatically is negative, because they know that they're going to fail at that, at least at first. So I'm going to read this passage from the article Reclaiming and Proclaiming the Use of Crafts in OT. So the use of crafts in occupational therapy exemplifies the use of occupation as a means and an end for individuals who experience challenges to participation in everyday life. Crafts are used to practice skills that are applied to other functional activities of daily living, and crafts become meaningful tasks that satisfy occupational needs. So what I like about that is often I feel that my patients are not able to be particularly successful with things that are anything physical. And so they don't get to see an end result. And just like you and I, it's just human tendency to want to do things where we quickly see results. So I have done this craft with pediatric patients. I've done this craft with geriatric patients. I've done this craft with people with mental health issues, with young adults. I have seen this craft do many things, and you can make it as difficult or as challenging or as easy as you want it to be, because gathering the supplies and things like that, this can literally be used in any setting. This is called a toilet paper pumpkin. Obviously, we didn't use that a lot in 2020 because it was thought that wasting toilet paper was a bad idea, and I get it. But so you need toilet paper, you need sticks, scissors, a piece of any kind of fabric, and then ribbon. So you can make this challenging by, a lot of times if my patients are well enough to gather the supplies, I will put these in our craft room and have them go gather them, put them on their walker, or carry them if they're able to. And then also another part of this activity that I really liked with kids, adults that are able, or in the mental health facilities that I got to be in our CODA program, you can go outside and have them find sticks that would look good with the pumpkin, and you kind of show them first, and it's a good opportunity for them to get outside, experience nature, look for sticks, look for sometimes they do these little like twigs, like the kids like the little twigs that come out of the top. I'll show you at the end. But anyways, it can be as challenging as that, or you can have everything set up for them. One thing that I really like about this craft is you can do it with a COVID patient, a post-COVID patient. You can take these things in to a room and you can have just enough to where you would leave this in there. You would leave the toilet paper, obviously, the stick, you leave it. You take just enough ribbon, or and the scissors can be cleaned. So some things like you have to take things back out. They're not, it can't be sanitized, but this can. Also, this is a pretty safe craft besides scissors, and you can pretty well, protect from that. So any setting really is good. So what you start out with doing is you take your toilet paper, and this can be challenging for some people depending on their fine motor skills, but you take the toilet paper and you unravel it quite a bit. Okay, and then you put it back. You're just going to roll it back on there. But what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that it sticks out a little bit more this time, because you want it to be big and round like a pumpkin. So I'll show you. And the good part about this craft is that there's no, you're not painting, you're not drawing anything. If they mess it up, they can unravel this and do it again, because oftentimes I see, especially in my older people, that they don't do it big enough and they don't get what the object is at first, and they go back and they redo it. But that's the good thing about this craft. Also, you can unravel this if you ever need it for actual toilet paper. Okay, so there's that part. Set that to the side. You take fabric. That's probably the most expensive part of this whole thing. And it's really not even that expensive. I got it at Hobby Lobby. So another good thing about doing this craft is that you can just cut like a small square. I'll show you about how big. Another good thing about doing this craft is that it's challenging for some, but it's not so challenging that people are not able to talk and socialize during it. So we've kind of gotten back to where if we have two people in the gym at the hospital I work at, that they can sit distance from people and they can talk about it. So oftentimes little ladies, they like to talk about, what their house is decorated in, and because people use these for decorations for sure. And this is also just a fun craft and pretty inexpensive craft if for anybody to make. So you just cut the fabric and about like that. It can be a little bit bigger than that if you need it. But anyway, so then you lay it down with the fabric that you want facing out. Another good thing is, I know it's so hard to find things for guys to do, but I have often found that even our young guys, because sometimes we get younger guys in rehab that have had some, accidents or whatever, that they will do this and because they want to give it to their wife or girlfriend or mom. And same with the older guys. If they see everybody else is doing it, oftentimes they will want to do it. So what I'm doing is I just took the toilet paper and set it on top of the fabric like this. And then I'm just taking it and pushing it in to the top of the toilet paper roll. And it squishes down like that. If you have enough, if you make your fabric big enough, it will look good like this, and you can stick it down just like that. So that's the pumpkin part. Super cute. We do this with flannel materials. We do it with whatever material you want. And that's another thing I like, is that I can put options out, and it's not like everybody makes the same thing. You get to choose. So then you take ribbon, whatever color you want. And I typically do sometimes I do 2 or 3, but this time I'm gonna do this. This is probably like 10 or 12 inches. And then you take your stick. I like to do like a thicker one. You can also do just the small, whatever you like. But the thicker one seems to stick in the pumpkin better. So what I do is I tie the ribbon at the very bottom of the pumpkin. At the very bottom of the stick. I'm just putting it on the pumpkin, doing it so you guys can see what I'm doing. So, like that. And then you push it down. And so this is one way to do it. You can do like this, and then you can cut these so it looks a little bit more like a pumpkin stem. And just like that. But what you'll notice, what I notice about people doing this craft is you can see like they'll either do it like this and they don't care. I never know how they're gonna be. So like that's the final product. A lot of times people will do 2 or 3 little ribbons, and they will have like a bunch of them sprouting out, and then they want it to be like perfect, but it's super cute. This is like it's the easiest thing ever, but they love it. And then I have to share this because we had a lady who was very proud of this. She bought some of these little green wreath, small things, and she bought them and put them all over the gym with the pumpkin on it, so it was like a little centerpiece. So it's actually really cute, but you can make it as difficult or easy as you want it to be. Like I said, the main object, or my main purpose of this, typically I typically don't do this for fine motor control, honestly, or strengthening. Sometimes I can do it with patients who can stand and work on endurance and things like that. But the main point of this is it's something to do that's therapeutic, that can get your mind off of things, because we all have things going on all the time. We're always stressed. Everybody's got something on their mind, especially when you're ill, physically or mentally. And like I said, I totally support and think that yoga and physical exercise is so important, and that we should make that a part of our everyday lives. But I also think as occupational therapists, we should remember that crafts are a big part of what we do, and it was very successful for a reason. So I think that, whether it's this craft, whether it's painting, whatever it is, we really need to try to bring these back into our patients' lives, our sessions, and also just everybody should probably try to do some kind of craft. Challenge yourself to make something, and then the success or the enjoyment that you get out of making something and then getting to look at it and be like, okay, I made that. That looks nice. You really can't replace that, because a lot of times in life we feel like, oh my gosh, everything I do I'm failing at. I try so hard and I can't be successful. But something like this, a craft, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I think it's a really good way to get people's mind off things. Also for anybody, us, students in school, adults, whatever. I think it's really important. So one more thing I was going to share is that this is a fall craft, but we do these things all year round. People love to make them we get like Christmas, after Halloween's over, we do Thanksgiving fabric, we do Christmas, and it's like it literally looks like a little Christmas pumpkin, or we put like a gold thing in here, it looks like an ornament. We did them for spring one year because they're just so easy and they're so cute for the patients to look at, and they have something in their room that they can actually look at that's decorated for whatever season it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's super simple, but it's important to remember that crafts are a very therapeutic activity for everyone. So thank you.